think of the called out of Babylon until you see that Chaldea is where
Babylon here, yeah.
So,
but we do believe this is before. I mean, it gets confusing because I believe this is before Babylon, but
right,
like the empire that we know. But
what would eventually become Babylon is that area.
And so this just kind of shows you the route that he takes and how, and when he gets to Shechem, where the covenant is made.
Right.
So, and if you look at other extra biblical resources, there are other extra biblical resources that allude to the fact that Abram's father was an idol maker, and he escapes this life. And it was through Shem. Shem is the one that taught him the ways of the Father, which is, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, and that basically Abram is willing to leave his earthly father's house, which it kind of makes you go back to words that Yeshua says, where he says, "Who are my mothers and father? Who are my brothers and sisters? Those who do the will of my Father."
Yeah.
And Abram definitely is somebody who seems to be about his heavenly father's will over his earthly father's will.
Right.
And he's willing to leave the earthly kingdom to follow. So once again, it's another micro example of even how Yeshua calls the disciples out to drop everything and follow him. You see, Abram is a man of action,
right.
And over in this story, he is like, "You want me to do what? All right, done, doing it.
Yeah,
no questions asked."
Yeah.
So
yeah, and he tells us that Yeshua tells us that, and Paul, that, if you were sons of Abraham, you'd do the works of Abraham.
Yeah. And
then he tells us that we should want to be the seed of Abraham, right? Mm-hmm. If we're going to claim the seed of Abraham, then you have to go back to being a seed of Abraham and doing the works of Abraham.
Yeah. That's a good point. And then, here's another map, a journey that, kind of showing where they all took of Isaac, Jacob. And, because they do kind of follow a similar pattern here.
They're all kind of running around the same area all the time.
And we also talked about it's a long ways. It looks like a long way to go from over to Egypt.
Yeah.
It wasn't something you just did lightly. It took some preparation.
You're probably not going back and forth very often.
No. So this was a life-changing journey for sure. So, we don't even hardly understand that because we just get in the car and we drive or we fly and but it's very different. And so I have another map. For me, maps help me understand this is